Waiting Game, an American Reflection. 4 men are waiting on a bench in the park, watching the passers-by. On the government building piazza, 2 policemen watch the passers-by on motorcycles. A man in a red raincoat walks by the men who are sitting on the bench, and a man at the end of the bench makes an ugly face at the walking man. The offended one in a red raincoat will think about why that face for days, while the man on the bench was just looking at him like that because he was wearing a red raincoat when there was not a cloud in the sky. In the renovated hotel, the rooms are filled with dust and animal hair, which float around in the sunshine that combs in through the big windows. The rooms have high ceilings, and one afternoon there is peace in many of the rooms, and certainly peace is shared. As, in a place like that renovated hotel, there are traveling nurses, expatriates, homemakers, couples, and single hookers who had never had such a nice home as those rooms they in. And it is on the afternoons where there is nothing wrong, where the beauty of life might go unnoticed, as usually people are ambitious and are expecting a career change, celebration, or a more than one person conversation. When really the sunshine and the dust floating around their rooms are the plain Jane things that enchant their lives, which are never longer than they will be that day. And perhaps all they asked for, after all, is there. Common wisdom reminds the person that one day they wish to be approved so they could live in the very place they are, and fate granted them what they asked for. So what is the problem? There is no problem, not for many. On their couches, standing in the kitchenettes, looking out the window, metamorphosizing the apartment building into a many-eyed beast, the people are living and breathing air. Some sit with their legs folded and some stand barefoot, and the residents can look down at their healthy hands and feet, see how they are made with intricate veins and little hairs and strong nails. And residents can wiggle their toes and close their eyes and breathe air into their mouth as they are alive. Yes, that is the bottom line. Why go beyond themselves to know there are people out there with cancer, weeping, suffering? Does that make empathy to steal the pain of others and bring it with them into their simple rooms in paradise that others would like to live in too, and play Monopoly with their children years before the hospital room with a flannel blanket and medical smell? The people in the park, like the men watching the passers-by on the bench and the policemen watching on motorcycles, sometimes offer courses in empathy, as they are used to watching plain scenes in the city and noticing when something is astray. So mind your own business and walk on home. What's it to you if the most chaotic thing that happens is someone pushes on their horn because you slow down to make sure they are not going to hit you while walking on the sidewalk? Maybe you can save the world that day. Patience. Carl wonders if everyone has dreams in room 624. But I try to forget mine, as the wise Chinese sages advised, for this is a dream. And I want to be aware that one day the quiet afternoons with sunshine and floating particles will be the things I miss the most. These moments when nothing is happening being some of the best moments in one's life. but I have a purpose. And so does Carl, and everyone in the building, and in the city, and on a Friday night there are tinkling glasses and wine bars, elation, or ironic fatigue after a week of work. And the funny thing is, we are not sure what it is we are supposed to do with our lives in toto. For how could we know what the sum of all our moments will mean if it means anything? That's the point of the pearly gates, isn't it? The face-to-face with Peter. We are born for the life like our parents and our grandparents before this, like my great-great-grandparents who immigrated from Ireland, and philosophers have existential crises, but some were too dumb to know they were heartbroken or drinking too much alcohol. And that does not mean their rationale was unnecessary, as it might be good to create and then cure a new riverbed of suffering so that the unconscious is lush. It's just that it takes little to make this experience magical. And isn't it the magician's technique to never reveal how the trick is done? In a bath, a man gives his concerns up to angels, again, with pink Himalayan bath salt. They tell him he is a saint in heaven. He wonders when the coronation ceremony will be. The phones are filled with images of people with celebrity, stupidity, or the X factor that makes them pop out in the pixel mob. And one wonders if the phone societies are not just meant to inspire greed or envy in the first place. And if it is really a good thing that people champion overpaid athletes and singers, since the relief they offer is temporary as ever. Entertainment is overvalued as an industry, yet the empty room and peace is the surprise party of paying rent. They probably love people, though. It is good to love people. If there is one wise thing that does not get circulated on the internet in skin-showing posts, it's that the majority of love is non-physical, and many people love others more than they can stand and aren't the type to love them in conversation. But those people should go on loving even if no one ever understands how they love. We thank you. Here is your thanks. It's observed, because it could only be that way. And not everyone is the kind of star who goes on stage or communicates in ways everyone pays for. Maybe in the future, the question will be, how do you want to express your love for people? Junior year, instead of what kind of job do you want? Not that it would be progressive to be corny, like a militant hippie. It's just that life is rather special and the most precious thing we have, so we should keep flipping over new stones to figure out what makes people tick. Sure, I want things. If you are reading this, I've got it. And it's not that I need attention, but rather I love this way, and the word deserve eyes. I won't get into my why. Listen to the motors, the laughing on the sidewalk, the clicking of computer keys. Ahem. Salam alaikum. Amen. The universe is hosting funny humans on a ball in a void. I used to think that was horrifying. Now I love every organ in myself, the cold of my hands, and every book on my desk, and my charred pipe, and my family genes. And I am surrounded by such an aura of love, I don't have time for the gnashing of teeth. And Jesus tells me that is okay. so long as I am loving the little people, the angels and cherubs. We can save young people by accepting death and aging. I've never met men I resented so much as old ones who are cruel to feed their pleasure. This is my dream, and I am alive in it. And I suppose it's what your poetry makes you that is the most interesting thing about it, as that is what makes the living word. I have a grandmother who is still alive, thank God, though she is mad I forgot her birthday, and I wish she was not, as I did not mean to not text her. 10 years ago, I was studying in London, and on Thursday nights I would stay in my room and drink a little whiskey and work on short stories, and I would roll my own bugler cigarettes from a baby blue bugler pack, with photos of cancerous ulcers and mouths with stained teeth, or lower faces missing jaws, unfazed by the photos because I was an immortal, an author. On these ceremonious Thursdays, when I was working on the same short story, I'd go outside and smoke on the sidewalk, ingesting the big city and the smell of the fried chicken shop across the street from my flat. I was strong in will and mind, handsome, youthful, uncalculating of sin. I was young enough to believe achieving readers and money was going to be no problem at all, that I'd stroll through life as I'd like it to be, and I'm still wondering if this is in fact the way I wanted life to be. Though, I have different clothes, and I'm 10 years older, and I don't have many readers, not like Zadie Smith, who I thought about today, and I hope she's doing well. Something tells me life is not too different whether people care about what you write or not, and it's my job to enjoy my journey, and it's your job to enjoy your journey. My t-shirt is black and I'm alive. I've got a little coffee left. I think one day I'll cease to exist in this way. I'll not be an artist with newfound strength and lessons to teach, but one who is in charge of describing a new universe. I am interested now in the way that I'm seeing things and how I am cultivating a type of bliss and satisfaction while living at 50 Franklin Street. Though, it's quite easy to blabber about how I'm feeling. Some of the world I'm a part of comes to the page, and some of it does not. I keep looking to images on my phone, or sometimes at others, to affirm what I'm doing, but I'm surely living this life, a particular one, and I wonder how the images on my phone are affecting my mind. Earlier, I carried paintbrushes, paint, and a canvas up the hill to continue a painting of the Cathedral of St. Paul. I made a patch of the sky teal. I stood up moments ago and looked out the window. It's around 8 o'clock, and the sky above the church is teal. The moon is a thin sea. I will never capture that sight in a photo, but I saw it and experienced the sublime.